Hello, everyone. This is Fred Wilson, Senior Mortgage Loan Originator at SWBC Mortgage, and welcome to another one of my weekly series titled Monday Mortgage Moment. For today's session, I'm excited to talk about a brief history of my family. I have my cousin Lynn Adele that is joining me, and we're going to talk about her parents, how they came from. Her mother came from a small town in Humboldt, Kansas, and her father from Humboldt, Kansas, where how they were able to go to college, both graduate, obtain a master's, and begin their teaching careers in the big city of Kansas City, Missouri. So, Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. If you can begin by sharing with us, after your parents started working in the Kansas City, Missouri school system, they needed to find a place to live. Where were they able to find a place?
Well, first is the slight correction, Frederick. Daddy was from Chanute, Kansas.
Okay.
Yeah. And so my parents moved to Kansas City, Missouri once they got married. My mother was pregnant with me her senior year of college, so they needed to find a new place to live. So they found a two-bedroom apartment on the east side of Kansas City. The name of the street was called West Paseo. And at that time, that was one of the areas where Blacks could live because Kansas City was still a segregated city back in the early 50s. So my parents lived in this particular apartment from 1955 to 1969. As you well know, that's during the Civil Rights era. And they were able to move into this area called Vineyard Woods. And that was back in 1969. Now, during that time, we were one of the first Black families to move into the area. And during that time, unfortunately, we experienced what is called white flight. And within a period of 3 years, an all-white neighborhood turned into an all-Black neighborhood.
Okay. Now, Lynn, both your parents were professional. They were able to work hard, save their money, and move into this community. So why were the white families moving out?
Well, it's unfortunately it's tradition. It is the history of blacks and whites in this country. When Black people move up and move into areas that are considered nicer areas, unfortunately, most of the time they are white areas. White people move out. They move out for many different reasons. Some move out because they feel they're going to lose the value of their home. So they sell when they can get the money for their houses. Others move because they don't want to live around Black people. It's either their fear or their prejudices, biases, or whatever they may be. And so.
Very good. And then how long did your parents live in Vineyard Woods?
We lived there from 1969 to 1977. And during the course of those years, the property values did go down. Crime, unfortunately, went up. And my parents were looking to move to a nicer area, a safer area. And so they found a place in Grandview, Missouri, which is considered a suburb of Kansas City. So once again, they would be considered moving out and moving up, or moving up and moving out. So yes.
And that's quite ironic because your parents were part of the initial elite professional class in Kansas City, Missouri. So they had to move up and move out into the suburbs. And your parents, and your mother to this day continues to live in this house.
Yes.
Now, explain to me, has the values stayed the same? Has there been any change in the community since your parents first bought this house?
Well, the value, the value, it hasn't gone up too much. What is changing now is that white families and other minorities, like Hispanic families, are moving into the neighborhood. which that's what's different, is
Okay.
that there's a resurgence of white families moving back into the neighborhood. Yeah, yeah.
And here we are years later, fortunately, with the uh, with the progress made by African Americans, now in the same community where your parents moved into, where they were one of the first blacks, to a community where it's now majority black, and
Yes.
now people, other ethnicities, are now feeling comfortable about moving back in. I think that
Right.
is a wonderful story.
Okay.
So everyone, I'm so glad I was able to share this little piece of my family history. A lot of times history may not be as well as we would like it, but it is our history. It is what encourages each one of us that despite any obstacles and setbacks, we can still go ahead and improve our lives, and at the same time, improve the lives and communities of others. Thank you so much, and I look forward to talking with you next week on another edition of Monday Mortgage Moment. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.